same kind of altruistic and nice in that same way. But the algorithm that I used for finding co-founder for this thing was not very good. It was kind of literally what computer scientists call the greedy algorithm. It's kind of the first 15 people who replied back offering to help kind of are the co-founders.
Oh, you mean like literally the people that will form to be the founders, co-founders of the community. The algorithm, I like how you call it the algorithm.
Yeah, and so what happened was that
you guys send this video to the men with the birds.
Like especially as the project got really big, like there started to be a lot of this kind of infighting, and there were a lot of like I wanted the thing to be a non-profit, and some of them wanted to be for-profit. Then there started to be people who were just kind of totally unable to work with each other. There were people that were kind of trying to get an advantage for themselves in a lot of different ways. And about 6 months later led to this big governance crisis. And then we kind of reshuffled leadership a bit. And then the project kept on going. The 9 months later was another governance crisis, and there was a third governance crisis. And so
is there a way to, if you're looking at the human side of things, is there a way to optimize this aspect of the cryptocurrency world? There is, from my perspective, there's a lot of different characters and personalities and egos, and like you said, I don't know if,
other than doing the clickbaity stuff,
I also like this thing that most of the world, most of the people in the world are well-intentioned, but the way those intentions are realized may perhaps come off as negative. Like what
at bloompool.io. Very simple.
Is there a here about creating a governance structure for cryptocurrency that where everyone gets along?
And after about 4 rounds of reshuffling, I think we've actually come with something that seemed to be pretty stable and happy. I think, I mean, I definitely do think that most people are well-intentioned. I just think that one of the reasons why I like decentralization is just because there's like this thing about power where power attracts people with egos, and so that just allows a very small percentage of people to ruin so many things.
Do you think ego has a use? Like, is ego always bad?
It
seems like it sometimes does. Within the Ethereum research team, I feel like we found a lot of very good people that are just primarily just interested in things for the technology, and
right now,
generally be going quite well.
Yeah, when the focus and the passion is in the tech. So that's the human side of things. The technology side, like what have the biggest challenges bringing Ethereum to life?
I have always
on the technology side.
I think it's going to be coming in April.
So I think first of all, just
a couple months out, maybe around.
There's like,
and also they've been
the first off development, which is when someone gives you a timetable, switch the unit of time to the next largest unit of time and add one, and we basically fell victim to that. So it ended up taking like 3 months, and ended up taking like 20 months to launch the thing. And that was just, I think, underestimating the sheer technical complexity of the thing. There were real challenges. So, for example, one of the things that we've been saying from the start that we would do, one is a switch from proof of work to proof of stake, where proof of stake is this alternative mechanism where instead of having to waste a lot of computing power on solving these mathematical puzzles that don't mean anything, you kind of prove that you have access to coins inside of the system that gives you some level of participation in the consensus.
Can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit? I understand the idea of proof of work. I know that a lot of people say that the idea of proof of stake is really appealing. Can you make a link on it longer, explain what it is?
What do you guys think?
Sure. So basically the idea is like, if I kind of lock up 100 coins, then I turn that into a kind of virtual miner. The system itself kind of automatically and randomly assigns that in a virtual miner the right to create blocks at particular intervals.
It's literally about the same thing that we're talking about now.
And then if someone else has 200 million, get a kind of twice as big virtual miner, they'll be able to create blocks twice as often. Right? So it tries to do similar things to proof of work, except instead of the thing kind of rate limiting your participation being your ability to crank out solutions to kind of hash challenges, the thing that rate limits your participation kind of much when you're kind of locking into this mechanism.
Okay, so interesting. So that limit of participation doesn't require you to run a lot of compute. Does that mean that the richer you are, so rich people are more, like their identity is more
and then third is
stable.
So the liquidity's there.
Yeah,
verifiable or whatever the right terminology is.
Right, and this is definitely a common critique. I think my usual answer to this is that proof of work is even more of that kind of system.
Exactly. I didn't understand it as a criticism. I think you're exactly right. That's equivalent to proof of work is the same kind of thing, but in the proof of work you have to also use physical resources.
So let me know you guys.
The computer burn trees and all of that stuff.
Is there a way to mess with the system of the proof of stake?
There is, but you will once again need to have a very large portion of the coins that are locked in this.
That's a bird, man. That's a bird.
Yeah, and just to that, maybe take a small tangent. One of the criticisms of cryptocurrency is the fact that I guess for the proof of work mechanism, you have to use energy and work. Is one of the motivations of proof of stake is to move away from this?
Definitely.
Like, what's your sense of the? Maybe I'm just underinformed. Is there like legitimately environmental impact from this?
Yeah. So the latest thing was that Bitcoin consumed as much energy as the country of Austria or something like that. Yeah, and then Ethereum is like maybe only like half an order of magnitude more than Bitcoin.
I've heard you talk about Ethereum 2.0. So what's the dream of Ethereum 2.0? What's the status of proof of stake, the mechanism that Ethereum moved towards? And also, how do you move to a different mechanism of consensus within a cryptocurrency?
So Ethereum 2.0 is a collection of major upgrades we've wanted to do to Ethereum for quite some time. The two big ones, one is proof of stake, and the other is what we call sharding. Sharding solves another problem with blockchains, which is scaling.
So people start speculating about it.
It basically says instead of every participant in the network having to personally download and verify every transaction, every participant in the network only downloads and verifies a small portion of transactions, and kind of random distribute who gets how much work, and because of how the distribution is random, it still has the property that you need a large portion of the entire network to corrupt what's going on inside any shard. But the system is still kind of very redundant and very secure.
That's brilliant. How hard is that to implement, and how hard is proof of stake to implement? Like on the technical level, software level.
Proof of stake and sharding are both challenging. I'd say sharding is a bit more challenging. The reason is that proof of stake is kind of just a change to how the consensus layer works. Sharding does both that, but it's also a change to the networking layer. The reason is that sharding is kind of pointless if at the networking layer you still do what you do today, which is you kind of gossip everything. That if someone publishes something, every other node in the client hears it from on the networking layer, and so instead we have to have kind of sub-networks and the ability to quickly switch between sub-networks and sub-networks talk to each other. This is all doable, but it's a more complex architecture, and it's definitely the sort of thing that has not yet been done in cryptocurrency.
So most of the networking layer
in our entire industry.
Cryptocurrency is you're shouting broadcasting messages, and this is more like ad hoc networks. Like
you're shouting within smaller groups.
Smaller group, but you have like a bunch of subnet. Like
exactly.
You have to switch up. I'd love to see that. So it's a beautiful idea so from a graph theoretical perspective, but just the software that like, who's responsible? Is the Ethereum project like people involved? Like what's the actual? This is like legit software engineering.
So I'm going to play this clip.
Who, like, how does that work? How do people collaborate, build that kind of project? Is this like what's the
little birds there?
Like, is there a software engineering lead? Is there, is it a legit, almost like large scale open source project?
There is, yeah. So
like Who Shot Mr. Burns, isn't it?
we have a named Danny Rand, who's just brilliant and great all around, and he is a kind of de facto kind of development coordinator, I guess. It's like you have to invent job titles for the stuff. Right? The reason is that like we also have this unique kind of organizational structure where the Ethereum Foundation itself kind of does research in-house, but then the actual implementation is done by independent teams that are separate companies, and they're located all around the world in like fun places like Australia, and so you can kind of just need a bunch of almost non-stop happening to just keep getting these people to kind of talk to each other and kind of implement the spec, make sure that everyone agrees on kind of what's going on and kind of how to interpret different.
It doesn't look like him, but I'm pretty sure it is. But he's there. I mean, Jack Dorsey's the one tweeting it. It says, Bitcoin and blockchain meetup in Ethiopia. And as you guys know, a lot of the primary operations and stuff is in Ethiopia. So this is so funny. It's so funny watching the Cardano community just like piece this all together. I love it. I really do. You guys are like some top tier journalists here. So it gets even crazier. Going further, 3 weeks ago, Charles made a short video about decentralized social media. I remember this video, and he says, look at the title of that video. We skip past it. Hold on. So I got to go less than 5. It's called Blue Skies in Social Media. Very interesting. Blue Sky, the name of the project that Jack Dorsey started, however, Charles is not talking about it. It just says Blue Skies in the title. Now let's take a look at the Blue Sky Twitter profile. It's got a little bird in it. Interesting. It's got the one cat, you know. I see Anthony Pomp and Vitalik both following that, which is pretty cool. So look, it's a blue sky with a little birdie. Little bird's flying, landing on shoulders. Little bird, blue sky, man. I think I know what they're going to announce. Not Grayscale, not Coinbase or Africa. I think Blue Sky is going to create a new decentralized version of Twitter on the Cardano blockchain as a dApp. What do you guys think? What I'm thinking is, there's a few birdies. I'm thinking there's a lot going on under the hood, and that's why Charles has been so chipper lately. He's been so happy. If you watch him during his AMAs, you know he's just he's cheesing. What do you guys think? Please type in Blue Sky down below if you guys think this is coming, or if you think it's all speculation, you know. But it's pretty cool stuff, in my opinion.
The radar. Now, there's a major commercial deal, and it's starting to leak a little bit. And this is about a bird, and we're not quite ready. We're ready on our side, but that government isn't quite ready to make that announcement. But my understanding is that it's in the final stage, and we're just kind of waiting for the nation state's PR people to get up to speed and do things. We believe that that's going to occur in February, and I haven't gotten any information to the contrary. What I can say is this is a major deal. Involves 5 million people, and it's a very substantial thing. It involves deployment on Cardano, so those will become Cardano users over a period of time. But I can't quite say anything more yet. John O'Connor in Proof of Africa kind of said some things about that, but I'm not going to say any more because we're waiting for the nation state's PR to it. It's a near and dear deal to my heart, and it's something that's very important to me because we've spent years as a company pursuing Africa deals, and it has legitimized that strategy. And this particular entry point gives us the ability to extend and expand over a 12, 24-month period for tens of millions of users. And we'd like to franchise it, make it Pan-African, and go across the entire continent. I think it's probably the largest cryptocurrency deal in the history of our industry for single deal and user acquisition. But again, we're going to hold off on saying any more until that nation state gets its stuff together on the PR side, and that completely finalizes. It's one of those things where you get about 95%, and then everything kind of slows to a grinding pace, and you just have to wait and wait and wait. And it is what it is. And we've been dealing with that since November. And it looks like, though, that we're finally at a point where national press can happen and these things can be said. And because it kind of got a little leaked with the Proof of Africa interview, I figured it'd be good to give you guys a teaser there. So I think we can talk about that bird this month. There's another bird, too. That one I can't say much about, but I think you guys will be very happy. And I do believe that that's occurring this month as well. But, those are just events, and they're validators of the strategy that we're following, and they are starting points to build upon. But by no means are they the only things to say. We're going to have a lot more to say at the 360 event at the show at the end of the month.
So that means that video just confirmed 2 birds, right? So we have a deal, right, with 5 million users, which is the biggest user acquisition deal in history, with the government, and that government is Ethiopia, right, which is awesome. So he essentially just confirmed 1 little bird, and that IOG's ready to work on this. They're ready to do this, but they're just waiting on the PR people from that government to do it. So that's 1 confirmed bird here, and then he just confirmed a second bird, right? And we don't know what this second bird is. We don't, right? So at the beginning, he said something about a liquidity event. So that leans me towards Coinbase, right? But then after all the blue sky stuff we just looked at, could it be that Twitter bird? Could it be the bird flying in the blue sky? What if it's all 3 birds? What if? It's pretty crazy stuff. Let's see if we can find some more information on this Africa deal. But either way, a lot is coming for Cardano. Comment that down below. Comment something. Let's pump this. Dude, everyone's got to get hyped about this stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see what we can find about this Africa deal. See if we can get some more details.
Come back on Africa, because you are mainly working in Eastern Africa. Is there any reason for that, or just because you have roots in Ethiopia, or? Yeah.
So good question. I knew when I was answering the previous question, I'd forgotten what you asked me at the beginning. But yeah, you want me to name all the countries. So Tanzania is going to be a focus for this year as well, over this telco opportunity. We've got an interesting opportunity in South Africa over insurance, which we're also looking to do. And all of these deals, as I say, they're multi-million users. Large-scale enterprise deployments. Outside of that, we're looking to work in Kenya and Nigeria as focus countries as well. I mean, Nigeria, obviously, you've got a huge Bitcoin and digital asset community. It's an incredibly populous country. You've got more of a developed technology space there than you might do in Ethiopia. Kenya was obviously the home of mobile money, a very developed technology scene as well. I think the Minister of Technology there is an ex-Google employee. So yeah, we've got our focus countries lined up, but that should just be the beginning. After these 5 focus countries, we've got plans for another 15, which we'll be working on after we've delivered on these first 5.
Okay. After watching that, I had to go find the closest Cardano shirt in my vicinity and wear that instead. So they just said, John O'Connor just said that they're working with 5 countries, right? And then after that, their plan is to expand out. So 5 million users, this deal that we're talking about, this deal that Charles just confirmed that's happening, that we're waiting on them, is just the beginning. And this is just the start to branch out to more and more users. This is what we've been waiting for years. This is what all of this work that IOG has been doing in Africa since 2017 and maybe even a little bit before then. It's all coming together. It's all starting to pay off. But this is only the beginning, right? This is the start of this cascading Africa effect, right? So big shout out to this interview that was done with Proof of Africa. I think it was an awesome interview, so thank you guys so much for doing that. But I'll say it once again, this is not financial advice. I'm really happy about this stuff. I'm definitely bullish on Cardano, right? The value, not the price. But let me know what you guys think of this video. If you guys enjoy stuff like this, please comment down below. I want more of this, and I'll keep doing it, right? As you guys can see, I'm trying to put more effort into these videos. I'm trying to take more time. So I hope you guys can see that, and if you enjoy it, I'll keep doing it. But, whew. Let's just think about 6 months ago what my videos were about. We were talking about tech stuff that a lot of you guys think are boring, and now we're talking about Africa deals, Coinbase, deals with Twitter. Times have changed for the better. I do still like the tech stuff though. Ben Kortzel is going to be coming on soon, but Please, 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 if you guys like this video, please click that like button, comment down below. Let's get this video pumping. Cardano to the moon, man. The thumbnail right here, right here. So I'll see you guys. You have a good rest of your weekend and a good rest of your week and a good rest of your bird-filled avian February. I'm so hype if you guys can't tell.